Hi, Matthew. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good start to 2023.
Good to see you too, Nicola.
I've been really interested in what you've been doing in the DE&I space at Matthew Radley Associates, and I am desperate to pick your brains just to see what else we can learn from you, to see what we can do and inspire the rest of our EMCC global community. Can I extract from your head as much as I possibly can about what you've been doing over there?
Yeah, sure, no problem at all. So I guess this has been a bit of a journey for us, if I'm really honest. And I guess sitting here as a white, male, middle-class executive coach, having spent lots of money funding oneself to get to this place, taking a moment of pause and looking in a mirror and recognizing the lack of diversity in my own world, in the world of all of our associate coaches and our employed coaches at MRA, has been quite a journey for us. Not a particularly comfortable one, and I would suggest as well, but one that we are extremely passionate about developing as we take our journey through for the next few years. So maybe I'll just share with you a little bit of a summary of where we've been, what the trigger points have been, and where we're going in terms of our projects.
That sounds fantastic. I'm really interested as well. I mean, taking a look at yourself, it does take quite a strength to look at yourself as well, doesn't it? So I'm really interested to hear that aspect too.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Sure, no problem. So interestingly, we do quite a lot of work with our clients around values, as many of us will do in a coaching world, and I was really clear that one of my values is around equality, and what that really looks like in my life. And I was exploring it in a lot of detail, personally and professionally. One of the trigger points for us was we do quite a lot of work in the corporate space, and we were asked to submit a proposal, an RFP, for a piece of work, and we didn't get that piece of work. And the only reason we didn't get that piece of work was because our coaches didn't reflect the diversity and the diverse need of the clients who we would be coaching. And I think that was a really lovely moment of ouch. And I remember sitting looking at our pictures on our website thinking, gosh, we are white, we are middle class, we have had a sense of investment in our futures, and everybody apart from me is female, and we're probably all around the sort of 45 mark. And it just made me look at myself and ourselves and think, gosh, we aren't really reflective of society and the clients that we work with. So I think number one, we had that bit of feedback, which was, you don't represent the communities we want you to coach. Lovely bit of feedback. We then went on some EMCC Global events and conferences, and one of the big things that I noticed was that the majority, and I'll say majority, not all by any means, the majority of the coaches that were at the conferences were similarly looking. Relatively white, I would suggest middle class-ish, probably in their 40s, maybe 40, 50s. And it just, the two things really click for me, that we represent this, the community at EMCC roughly represents this, and yet our client base doesn't represent this. And it was a real moment for sort of challenging ourselves and challenging our organisation at MRA. So that was the sort of kickstart point for us.
I bet that sparked a whole load of conversations at MRA, actually. What kind of discussions did you have amongst yourselves?
Well, we like to push ourselves pretty hard and step straight in. So we brought in an expert from an organisation to come and challenge us. And they spent 2 hours working with us, playing back what they saw. So what did they see in our coaches? What did they see in the way we talked about ourselves, the way we held ourselves, the qualifications that we express we have about ourselves? And they held the mirror well and truly up, which was great. But they did it in a very generous way, and in a way that was more about, okay, so what can we do about it versus what have we done about it to date? So we were really clear, we want to take action. We're an action-orientated organisation, so we were on a mission. So we had the mirror and we agreed a process of action. So we put into place a diversity plan for ourselves, looking at what were we doing around developing our own knowledge around diversity in all forms. That includes neurodiversity, and that was really important. So we've all gone on and become qualified in neurodiversity as well. So broadening what does DE&I really mean. And then we decided that we would put some money where our mouth is and invest in a program. We run a level 5 EMCC Practitioner program, training people to become qualified coaches. And so we agreed that last year we would have our first cohort of people from diverse backgrounds, and we would fully fund them to become level 5 qualified coaches. And that would be our sort of starting point for challenging the profession to recognise the value in bringing in a more diverse talent pool. Important to point out that we couldn't employ any of those people as coaches at MRA because we require a level 7. So it wasn't about a talent pool for MRA. It was more of a bit of a challenge to the community and the profession. We ran that first community last year, people from diverse backgrounds coming into the coaching pool and coaching profession, which was wonderful. And on the 2nd of December in London 2022, we had a wonderful graduation in Shoreditch, where we brought their sponsors, we brought all the MRA coaches, we brought all of those delegates, and we had a big award ceremony and a really lovely celebration. One of the things which was really, really enlightening was that they all wanted to carry on that journey of giving back. So we've actually challenged ourselves even further, and we've now committed to a 10-year program to try and create 100 people from diverse backgrounds coming into the coaching profession. And so Community 2 kicks off this week. In fact, on Thursday, we have another broader group of people from diverse backgrounds, from a global population, actually, which is really lovely. Again, all coming in, fully funded, level 5 program, and we will have a graduation in December 23. And last year's cohort will be championing and supporting this year's cohort. And we hope that that ripple will continue as we commit to 100 people over a 10-year period.
I love as well that everybody at Matthew Radley Associates has really jumped on board this, haven't they? Your employed coaches and your affiliated coaches as well. Everybody's just jumped in with both feet and just taken this bull by the horns, haven't they, and said, right, this is where we really, really want to place our energies.
Yeah, it's really lovely. And, you know, massive gratitude. We have employed coaches and they do this because they have to do it, but actually they love to do it. And we have a lead coach working on the program, Hilary, who's run this entire program so brilliantly. And we really, really value the associate coaches who are giving their time for free to support the training of these DE&I delegates. So a real team effort and a real community feel, starting to feel like we'll create a bigger ripple than just by the communities themselves. So really, really excited. And I think one of the really big learnings for us is that we also asked for, you know, what are we doing and how does the program come across? This is our standard program that we run for organizations. Does it represent diversity? And we've had a lot of feedback from our delegates that potentially we might want to deliver the program for everybody slightly differently to create an even greater feeling of equity through that sort of diversity lens. So how are we working with references and resources? Do they represent diverse authors or specialists that we refer people to? So is there more for us to do to challenge ourselves? You know, the resources we use, the authors that we refer to, the podcasts, the videos, the website, the TED Talks, all of the great rich resources that are out there. And do they represent more versions of us? Or do they represent a broader look and feel? From the neurodiversity lens, do our resources and toolkits, do they actually work for somebody who's neurodiverse? And what might we want to do differently to support somebody who might be neurodiverse accessing coaching as a framework and a behavior? So much broader than just pure what we might think of as diversity, and we're trying to encapsulate diversity and champion those who perhaps haven't had the privilege that some of us have had that have led us to this place. This is a living by our values thing rather than a business thing for us. We're also working through B Corp applications. That's another living by our values project that we're working on, as well as our sort of developing ourselves and our corporate ambitions and growth. These things feel really important, that we do add something back, we challenge the profession to do the right thing and to do the right work the right way. So that's our mission at the moment, to really focus on the diversity piece and our 10-year program, also applying for our B Corp and delivering sustainable and social benefits through our business, as well as being really great, top-notch executive coaches and team coaches. So yeah, those three things probably shout out who we are as an organisation.
Is there anything which you'd say to maybe other training providers in your shoes as well, who are thinking, how could I get better at DE&I? Is there anything that you've learned over the past 12 months which would be of interest to others?
I'm sure there are loads of people out there doing some brilliant work. We just didn't necessarily know many people doing it. So maybe there's some sharing of best practice going on. And I also do think that thinking and talking take us so far, and that doing is really important. And I really challenged ourselves to move away from just being aware and moving into that real advocacy and taking action to get people to somewhere that they weren't at the moment. And I think if we wait too long, or we wait for the profession, or we wait for an entire global response from the professional coaching community, we might have a long time of waiting, and we might miss a significant opportunity. So I'm very extroverted by nature. I like action, like to get things done. And so I'm really pleased that we just had a go and saw where it would take us. And it's moved from having a go to hopefully a longer term plan of action and a broader community impact. So for us, it's been worth it, even if we haven't waited and done it absolutely perfectly. We've had a go and we're learning as we go.
Well, I'd like to say congratulations on your first cohort, finishing their first cohort. I know that the graduation went really well, and your second cohort, just starting shortly, will have an equally brilliant graduation in December 2023.
Exactly, yeah, we're looking forward to it. It was a party and they enjoyed it, and we celebrated them, and it was very emotional for everybody, but really meant something. So we're really pleased the way we've taken it, and we'll carry on the journey.
Well, thank you very much, Matthew. It's been brilliant talking to you about it.
You're welcome, Nicola. Thank you.